Hey, good morning, YouTube. This is Marco, and today it is May 6th. Let me show you that date. Whoops. It's May 6th today here, and it's 69 degrees out at 9:30 in the morning. We're out here at the corner of Water Street and East Lake Mead Parkway, and going to be starting this video off at the straight from Philly that I ended pretty much ended the video off at yesterday. Started the trail back here, but yeah, it's gonna be right next to the Stop and Shop and the laundromat right over here. But this is East Lake Mead Parkway, which we've been looking at. We're gonna continue the trail, and a highway is going to be coming up soon. So we will get a new location soon. I got a haircut coming up, so it might be near my barber shop. It also might be Lake Las Vegas. Been talking about that. Kind of want to show you that. But again, Lake Mead Parkway. This is talking about 199. Oh, there it is. Water Street right over there. All right, and gonna start the run at this point here. And over there's a sign, again, advertising for the Water Street District. I showed you that on yesterday's May 5th video. Got a Motel 6 right over here. Seemingly empty parking lot though, not sure what they have going on over there. Keep it simple. Complete home furnishings with a iPhone repair spot. West Coast Realty. And there's a keep it simple furniture mattress sale. Yeah, I'm going to say again, a new mattress. If you've been sleeping on an old bad mattress, first of all, make sure you're flipping them and rotating them. Second of all, make sure that that foam, those springs aren't worn down. You'll be waking up feeling better on a good mattress. There's a Chick-fil-A on the other side. Well, right here we have a Psychic. And let's flip this camera one more time. Not a fan of these zoomed in shots of my face. If I'm being honest, hate when that happens. Got the Chick-fil-A. Well, it's gonna happen again. Got the... Alright, so here's kind of advertising what we have. And we're gonna get a better look. I might cross the street early for that. Over here seems to be some counseling, some therapy, right? Mental health support. Right next to the Touch of Flower Boutique. Henderson Physical Therapies in here. Let's see all the businesses that we have over here. There's the Touch of Flowers. Rejuven Health Community Care Center. All right, so this is the same building, Rejuven Health. There's a pediatric center tucked all the way back here. Lake Mead Pediatric Center, Quest Diagnostics. I mentioned before I had an Uber driver just telling me all about his glory days working at Quest Diagnostics. Won't forget it. Over here, Farmers Insurance. Tucked away, way back here. Some buildings for rent back here too, it looks like. Alright, but okay, these things, parking your car under these is a game changer from protecting it from the sun. You'll see those out here. Here's the rent right over here. This building looks appealing to you. 702-524-0634. Let's get back to the path. I just feel like it's important to spotlight all these places equally, if you're on the main road or not. Simple cremation. Rest in peace. Renew Care Pharmacy. And this seems to be at 129. Okay, there's the entrance to the strip mall with the Target. We're probably going to see that on the way back, because there's a lot to look at on this side here. So this is the Lake Mead Center. Oh, the stuff I just saw is the Lake Mead Center. Maybe a little bit more stuff going on in this building here. Let's take a quick peek just to make sure I didn't miss. Okay, here's like a massage place, Queen Pro Massage. And then there's a sign here for the stuff that we just saw. So it looks like we covered our bases at the Lake Mead Center. And I want to say too, weather-wise, all right, I moved from Chicago. And in Chicago, watching the weather report is unpredictable. You never know what the weather's going to be. If it's going to be hot, if it's going to be cold, if it's going to be storming. It always changes. And that might be tough for like making plans. You know, let's say you got, some plans, but it's going to rain. Let's say, you kind of gotta plan your outfits based on the weather, right? Over here, very consistent weather. I mean, there's not the need to be discussing the weather, talking about how crazy it is. It's consistent. It's gonna get hotter, of course, but in the mornings it's gonna be cool, and it's gonna get hot during the day. During the summer, it won't cool off at night, but it'll be cool in the morning. But you just kind of know what to expect out here with the weather. I'll say too, in a place like Chicago, and I'll talk about Chicago just because I feel like the third most people in America live there, like New York, LA. Chicago seems like it's a big three, so I feel like it could be relevant to people watching. But yeah, over here you're gonna have very consistent weather, and you won't be waiting around for summer. I mean, instead of celebrating that beautiful day in May, you can have that every day in May. And I noticed too, it seems like summer doesn't get started until like July. It might be cold throughout May, June even, in a place like that. But overall, if you just feel like, hey, some nice consistent weather would be great for a change. Maybe you're living somewhere with snow, right? Snow's gonna cause hazardous driving conditions. You could slip. You got to clean off your car in the morning. There's ice out there, right? That stuff can become dangerous. Whereas the heat, yeah, it's hot, right? During the summer, but you're not worrying about some of those extra variables that come with a harsh winter. If you're living somewhere where you're experiencing too much winter for your liking. Over here, we got a Safe Locks Keys. I mean, this is the number to know. 702-564-5397. in case if I don't know, maybe get locked out. Over here, another dentist. Lots of dentists. This is Stratton Dental. New patients are welcome. There's a strip mall we're gonna tackle soon. Okay, cool with the K, Cool Minds Academy of Learning. Gotta get a view of it every video, as I've nicknamed it, with no disrespect to the people that built it, but Mount Suspicious. The antennas coming out of it, it gets me every time. I don't know if other people feel that way, if they just ignore it, but it definitely catches my eye. This is the Cooper and Associates Professional Attach Services. I might be utilizing their services when it's time. And here's a State Farm. State Farm, Steve Arrington, he's an agent. Got a bus stop coming up. Okay, also right here, Lake Las Vegas, another ad for it. Let's talk about single-story homes, the bluffs at Lake Las Vegas. I'll be taking you there. You're gonna see that stuff on this channel 100%. You're gonna see everything in Las Vegas on this channel. Eventually, when people just search up an area they're interested in, there's gonna be a video of mine. Here's the bus. All right, let's see what bus stop we're at. Again, if you're commuting to work, all right, maybe you need some public transportation. Maybe you want to save on gas. All right, here's a bus 1529 right off of Lake Mead Parkway, and we have basic road coming up. So that's going to be your bus stop there. Another dentist. General dentistry, lab on premise, walk-ins welcome. No excuse to not be getting your teeth cleaned or seeing the dentist out here. Lots of options. Here's a VFW post 3848. Shout out to anybody that served in any branch of the military. Here's a probably a good spot for, I don't know if you want to go out to the VFW, but here it is. I used to enjoy going out to the VFW with my one buddy that was a Marine, and the VFWs would also be hosting like wrestling, independent wrestling. There, I used to love watching some indie wrestling. But yeah, here we go. VFW basic post 3848. Salute to those who served. Here seems to be a cool place. And I want to highlight this real quick. Looks like we have there's a boulder here. This boulder donated in memory of Mary Romine. Right, might be a name to research. I'm sure she did some great things out here. All right, moving on from the VFW. Harbor Freight. Quality tools, lowest prices. There's their building. Something else that's really nice about just being here is, I think, the palm trees. Looking at palm trees, we got some regular trees right here. I don't know their name, but I sure know what a palm tree is. We're getting closer to the highway, so I'm hoping that the audio is still clear. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me well. If it does not come out well, it might be something to sound over after the fact. This car wash here is not helping, but here's a car wash. Love car wash, LUV. This guy's car is awesome. Matte black with pink, chrome pink, little door handles, car mirrors. That is sharp. That is a cool concept in my opinion. As I said before, you're gonna see some really cool cars out here. I feel like I see like 3 supercars a day. Stuff like that too just keeps you motivated, you know, you get to see what's possible. There's a lot to feel motivated about here, you know, you see new advertisements, new restaurants, new shows in town. You want to be able to enjoy some of that stuff within moderation when you're living here. But there's plenty of entertainment and things to do with your time if you live out here. Pro shop, motorsports and marine. We got another Terribles / Chevron gas right over here. Yeah, don't be fooled by the name. Terribles, definitely a great option to stop, get your gas, get some snacks. There's your Terribles. Let's see gas prices. $5.59 for regular, $6.69 for diesel. I don't know what it is where you're living. All right, other side of the street, Level Load gas station. Not even competition, just easiness to pull in, right? Maybe you're driving on one street or the other. Here you got the Rebel, the Arco. One of my old co-workers actually has some good gas station literal connections. She was talking about like running the gas lines, you know, beneath wherever, making sure that they can utilize the lines well, have enough customers come in and get in determine how many gallons they would sell a day, stuff like that. Really cool behind the scenes stuff about gas stations. She was telling me. I don't know if my friends or coworkers would want their name dropped on the YouTube or not. So I've been keeping things vague, you know. But I don't know. You know, I might have to check in with some people and say, hey, would you ever want your name dropped on the channel? Here is a Wendy's. I'm gonna run up this path. There's 2 path options. It looks like right here. mean, there is two path options. One's just a more accessible way to get up to the Wendy's without having to go up the ramp in a parking lot. Okay, Paragon Pro Rentals. Seemingly like construction supplies. Maybe stuff you might need for a task. Building a building. Over here we got Star Loan Centers. They say they buy gold. All right, we really just got the highway entrance coming up, which I am definitely not heading towards on foot, but just to say, you know, we finished Lake Mead Parkway. Well, this side of it, I'm gonna run to the entrance, cross the street, head back, show you that strip mall. Okay, another bail bondsman. Let's see what's going on up here. Okay, Industrial Park. This is the Henderson Industrial Park. Let's check it out. Pool Supply Depot. Pack Merch. Pacific Mechanical Supply. Suite 105. This is Evolution Air Conditioning. Lift Tech. Garage Door Professionals, and Sooner Air Heating and Air Conditioning. On the other side, oh man, we got more stuff back there. Here's the other side. Covered that on the way out. There's just like the alley and dumpster back there. Take these steps. All right, Desert Valley Heating and Cooling. Henderson Industrial Park Management and Leasing Office. 702-568-6610. Henderson Tint. We got a church, apostolic. There it is. I don't know how to say it. All right, but we got a church, and Pastor Steve Ochoa is going to be the guy running the show over there, the pastor. Okay, we got the Dragons, allstarcheer.com, and let's see what we got over here. Very happy that we're checking out the industrial park right here. This stuff's important to a large population of people. Bounce House Rentals. undefeated. This might be like boxing, strength and conditioning, nutrition, speed and agility, weight loss, cardio endurance, self-defense, confidence, and lifestyle. Like a gym. Sheet metal fabrication. It's trade consultants. Here's what they got going on over there. You can hear the hard work from outside. Okay, empty. Suite 509. Empowered Life Church. KITS and KWAP. ELCLV.com. There it is again. Empowered Life Church is two of the buildings. Three of the buildings for Empowered Life Church. And 4. Okay. Empowered Life Church. Okay, over here. Here it looks like the end of the industrial park. There's a kind of hole in the fence here. Maybe I should sneak through it real quick. Maybe I should, yep. Let's see what's over here. Oh, kind of a cool ramp down. Okay, this might actually be current construction. I'm gonna turn back. But $680 team ACME Inc. 702-566-8326. Print auto glass tint. Pretty established looking body shop or auto shop, whatever they are. I like those artificial sunflowers in the front. This is Parker's Auto Group, A&G Contracting. We can dig it. Suite 404 looks open. Deliria, Bros, Tubby's Tub and Tile. Road Dogs, Cycle, and SXS Parts. Here since 02. Okay, over here. Not sure exactly. Oh, a dojo. Makiba Dojo. And United Pacific Construction. I gotta say, Vegas is a fighting city. You know, the UFC always has events here. I feel like a lot of those fighters, people of other groups, like to kind of set up shop here. Might attend these gyms. Serving Our Kids Foundation. Nice mountain view right up front. Classic floor covering. The bail bonds. An easy way out. I mentioned it before. I was thinking of the movie Jackie Brown. Samuel L. Jackson serving as Ordell Roby in that movie. Great film. Quick premise of that movie. Samuel L. Jackson's character is, I believe, like transporting firearms illegally, and uses a flight attendant by the name of Jackie Brown to smuggle his cash in and out. I think she gets held up. Pretty sure she formed some romance with the bail bondsman type of guy. And it's a great film. Check it out. I've seen it years ago. heading towards the highway. This video is probably going to be a longer one. If you want to speed this up at this point, I would not blame you, because it seems like I just got a straight path here. But I want to be able to say, you know, covered all the streets. And you don't do that if I don't do that if I stop and turn back right here. Cool looking yellow car coming up. All right, we got more businesses here. Okay, it's great thing that I kept going. Right off the highway, we have Pkwy car wash. Pkwy. All right, we're gonna check this out right here. Got some businesses. This is Lake Mead Parkway and Fiesta Henderson. And if you look over there, there's the entrance that's going to North Las Vegas, Route 11. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what those different 11, 93, 95, those are probably the different routes, you know, but I'm not that fluent with reading highways and stuff. I definitely need to just follow my GPS, but I don't know if I'm in the minority there or what, but those are your different, I guess, routes. And there's going to be a little bit more highway action over there. If I do cover that trail, it's going to be in a separate video. Right now, I'm just going to show you what we have over here. I'll take this bridge. Looks pretty cool. There's a lot of rocks. Okay, here's some gas here. A little bit cheaper. $4.94. Diesel $5.74. That's at the Conoco. Right off of Fiesta, Henderson, and Lake Mead Parkway. Got some blue collar workers. Here's the gas station. Sbarro, New York style pizza, US Market, beer. Here's a Dottie's. Dottie's is like local. I've never been inside, but one of my roommates told me it's like a local kind of casino, not casino, just gaming establishment, 24 hours. Dutch Bros Coffee is right here. Liquor World. And there's that Pkwy car wash right over there. And we got some construction. That I'm pretty sure is a construction area that I went into real quick and then realized that maybe I shouldn't be here. Right? So this is Fiesta Henderson, and East Lake Mead Parkway. This is going to be a long video. I thought this will be a short one. This is a long one. Gonna cross the street, show you the other side of the road, show you the strip mall that has the Target, and then I should be back to where we started at that point, but it might be another 30 minutes. Okay, again, highway. I'm gonna let the cross right here and then take you back down East Lake Mead Parkway. I'm gonna run to that island. I gotta say, I've heard there might be like a negative stigma about the drivers of Las Vegas. I think they're fine. It's definitely normal driving. You know, I don't think there's anything crazy about, I mean, looking for obviously it's daytime right now, but drivers here, don't give them a bad rap. I mean, these are good people on the road. I'm gonna wait this out. It's got some traffic coming. All right. All right. Got a bike trail that those bikers are probably riding on. I'm gonna stay closer to the road here and show you stuff like, hey, the bus stop. All right. There's another bus stop here. This is probably going to be your closest bus stop right towards the highway. All right. There's that bike trail. Right? There's a building here called Snorkel. Not sure what they do here. I mean, there's a fire truck. Holy cow. Looks like there's a fire truck just chilling right there. All right. Got a lot of ground to cover here still. Nice looking bike trail though, right over there. If you're running on the road ever, or at a sidewalk, I think it's a smart play to go behind any car or vehicle that's trying to make a turn. just because you never know, right? You don't want to be getting in their way, and you don't want to get hit on an accident. What do we got here? Construction supply place. I mean, we're right across the street from the industrial park on the other side. Just about, so that makes perfect sense. There's that trail still. It's just tucked away inside the road there. Pulling up on the Wendy's that was on the other side of the road. You know what? Let me show you the trail. Let's get on this trail real quick and just see what it's like. I mean, I love too, how convenient. They got two paths, one for walkers, let's say, one for bikers. Maybe you got to use a golf cart or motorized vehicle for work right here. I don't know what CP is. They got a big building here. But I like how stuff like this just limits foot traffic. Now those ladies biking didn't have to avoid a guy like me running. I think it's pretty cool. Maybe you're safer too from the side of the road. Maybe you feel like, hey, you know, I don't know about those drivers, and you just want to kind of stay a little bit farther away. Boom, perfect option for you. Other side of the road is that Chevron with the Terribles, and that other gas station. Other side, the Rebel and Arco. Okay, this building, CP, is massive. They have a lot going on. All right, I'm on the corner of Van Weyden. I don't know if I can get the camera up that far. I got Van Weyden and East Lake Mead Parkway. There it is. There's a sign for Van Weyden. Crown lift trucks. It's on the other side of the road. Looks like they got something for lease here. The trail continues back here, all right, or you can run on the side of the road. I think I'll stick to the trail. Nice bench. In case you get tired, gotta rest up a little bit. I would certainly rather not stop on this video and sit down and then have to chop this up and make 2 videos, then just film it straight through. There's going to be minimal to no editing done on this channel. Hope you're okay with it, but to me, it's just showing you this city, its natural beauty, in the realest way possible. Because when you're living out here, it's real life. There's not filters or transitions to get from one place to another. There's not filters to make stuff look better, right? It's just the natural, real life. All right, we're about to be in that strip mall. Have the Brake Masters and the Discount Tire right over here. I will say, I mentioned earlier how, you know, you're not dealing with the snow, you're not dealing with slippery roads, you know, worsened eyesight due to heavy rain or snow. You're not shoveling your car, but I have noticed your tires get hot here. Because the ground's so hot in the summer, your tires get hot and they're weaker. And they can be more susceptible to popping and stuff like that. If you run over something, if you hit a curb, all right, that tire may not survive like it would where you're at back home. So keep that in mind when you're talking about maybe the heat. Over there is the sign, what I'm going to show you in the strip mall. Let's head down these stairs and check it out. Alright, so there's that Brake Masters and the Discount Tire. Some storage over here. Alright, this is extra space storage. Maybe it's better. I don't know, maybe you want to move out here, get a studio, get a 1-bedroom apartment, and then get a storage facility. Maybe that's a better idea for your living setup out here. I don't know. It's for you to decide. Over here, though, I'm not even going to film. There's a Henderson Kids Dentistry. Don't want to film anything kids related out here. Schools, kids, dentists. But we got next to it, though, the fizz drinks. That sounds pretty good. And then across the street, we're looking at a Crunch Fitness with an orange logo. Back in Chicago, I know the Crunch Fitness had a purple or blue logo. Definitely not orange. Or maybe they changed it up based on state. Maybe there's been a rebrand, not sure. But there's another gym option. We had the EOS Fitness is going to be down the road for another gym option, I know. And there's a center well right next to that Crunch Fitness. T-Mobile, cell phone provider. It's going to be right here. All right, here's the Target. Whoops. There's the Target. There it is. It's hiding a little bit behind. We'll come back, so it's hiding a little bit behind the tree there. But massive building. They just renovated also about 6 months ago. Here's a Sally Beauty Supply. Massage Envy. PDS Medical Group. Modern Dentistry. Somebody, how many dentists have I seen in 4 videos? It's got to be 8. Lots of dentists. Holy cow. Whoops. Got poor video quality there. All right. Again, here's your view of the Target. We got some other businesses on the right I'm going to check out. Right next to the Target, though, you have a Ross, Dress for Less. Alright, here's the nail bar, right next to the Supercuts, right next to a Verizon. And you cannot forget about, okay, this building here, I'll show the logo, it's Carl's Jr.'s. Which I'm pretty sure, based on where you live, the same place might be called Hardee's. Right, but Carl's Jr.'s is right over there. Those char grilled burgers, char boiled, I don't know, but they're good. There's the Ross, and then right next to it is kind of a unique place. Let me show you that. Okay, so this is Hibbett. They got the Nike, the Jordan, the New Balance logo in the window. It seems to be like, you know, having your more so I call it fly merchandise. Your street sports, streetwear brands, let's say. Over here we have an optic gallery. And next to that is Ulta. And there's a Marshall's right next to it, which to me, I mean, it's pretty much a Ross Dress for Less again, but those are good stores. And then next to that you have a PetSmart. Let's see what's right over here. This would be Optic Gallery. There's an Olive Garden right over here. And a Jimmy John's is hiding right behind this tree over here. Olive Garden. When you're there, they're your family. I've referred to as a waiter there as my uncle before, just following that rule, you know, just when you're there, they're your family, you know. So I mean, who's to say that's not just long lost family when you go into an Olive Garden? That's what they say. All right, over here is a PetSmart. You know, I feel a little odd having the tree covering some of these names. And there's a Sprouts right next to that PetSmart. Sprouts is a grocery store option. Man, it's totally covered by the tree though. I'm gonna go in, get you that better look. Okay, PetSmart and Sprouts. Let's head back up there. Okay, right over there actually. That building, let's wait for that lady to pass. That building is the library in the area. I think it's called the James E. Gibson Library. We'll show you that. We'll show you the inside of that. Maybe not the inside today, obviously, but in the indoor videos, you'll see what the library setup looks like in the community. Okay. We may try to skip what's right over here. Oh, okay. I did. Sorry. Here is Southwest Medical and El Pollo Loco. Does that mean the crazy chicken? I think so. There's Southwest Medical. All right, gonna head towards the library, and then Chick-fil-A is right over here. There's Chick-fil-A. Sorry if I don't realize that the camera's bouncing for a couple seconds. My apologies. Okay, over there's the Better Buzz. All right, there's the Motel 6 from where we started, and you might be able to see the sign for the Water District. Over here's the library. I'm going to show you that. Maybe a little bit closer. Turn back. Head up. That should be Water Street, right where we started. call it a video. All right, here it is. James E. Gibson Library. I'll tell you right now, you cannot use a computer anonymously there. You need a library card. You can print there. You can add money to your card and print. Some libraries don't require a library card. Like in Clark County in Las Vegas, you can just take a seat and sign on in. At this library, they're gonna need you to create a library card. This Big Lots is closed. There's no Big Lots here anymore. Right here's Water Street District. Right ahead, City Hall, Justice Facility. Stuff that I showed you in yesterday's video. All right, I'm gonna end this right here actually. That's the Water Street District. All right, we started right here at the corner of East Lake Mead Parkway and Water Street, and that's where I'm going to end it. Hopefully you enjoyed the views in today's video. I'm giving a random shout out if you're watching in Brazil. Shout out to you, and wishing you the best. Everybody, best of luck, health, and happiness. Take care.